One thing to know about who we are is that we're a church that is engaging in the difficult work of dismantling racism and white supremacy as an institution. And on this day, this weekend, where we mark the work of Dr. King as a nation, we want to take a moment for our Racial Equity Task Force to speak to you about their work and what they've done and some updates and opportunities to get involved. I'd like to invite our team forward to introduce themselves again and their work.
Good morning. I'm Pamela Ice. This is Steve Jensen, and we are the Racial Equity Task Force. Last July, Reverend Daniel Cantor sent out emails inviting people to work on racial equity in this congregation. We answered the call and became what you know as the First Unitarian Church of Dallas Racial Equity Task Force. In our journey so far, we have met often. 10 of us, 6 Black and 4 white, we have worked together to begin the difficult process of living into the racial equity pledge that we developed and that 477 of us signed last fall. Along with you, we are now in the process of transforming our church and ourselves from a culture steeped in the national culture of white supremacy to one free of it.
We have stumbled many times during task force work and in small discussion groups that we held in the fall. White people said or did things that made people of color feel uncomfortable or disrespected. There's been tension, there have been hurt feelings. But we have collectively pointed out our failings to each other, we have owned them, and we have kept marching on together. In our small discussion groups, we have shared with each other our personal stories about how we each learned about the concept of race and how it has affected us personally. We have learned about the concepts of white privilege, white fragility, and how the evil idea of white supremacy is so baked into the structure of our culture that we, none of us, no matter how well-intentioned we are, can escape its effects.
As difficult and challenging as it is, the task force believes strongly in and is committed to this work, but we can't do it alone. So we have invited a consultant who works with churches and other organizations like ours to work with our church leadership in intensive workshops that we plan to hold this fall. Our ministers, our board, our church staff, and the task force will all be invited to participate in these deeply probing sessions. And we also need all of you. Please join us in this work. If you haven't already signed the pledge, please do that today in Channing Hall. Join one of our small discussion groups on race. You can sign up for that today in Channing too. Please take the time to read some of the resources that we share with you along the way. If you can make time in your schedule to join us for events to which we invite you, please do.
The journey toward racial equity is difficult, but it is also tremendously rewarding. Please join us as we transform ourselves and our church.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the members of our Racial Equity Task Force. If you want to know more about their work or engage with them and ask them questions about what they've done or how to get involved, you'll be in the fellowship hall after the service, and they'd be glad to engage you and invite you into the work.